I'm sorry we got interrupted there. My walkie-talkie went off. They're having Bible study on there, and I wanted to do this. Forgot to turn that off, and so when it kicked on it, anyway. Anywho, uh, okay, all right. So I had the girlfriend in kindergarten, and I failed kindergarten somehow or another. I had to go to another kindergarten in another state, and I think it was another state. It may not have been another state. It might have just been a different town. Anyway, I went to a whole another year of kindergarten in another place, and did not have a girlfriend there. But anyway, I went through all the schools, and no women had anything for me until the fourth grade. Fourth grade, there was a girl there, and that was in Alabama. We lived in, it wasn't Greenbow, Alabama, but it was Alabama. It was a little town called Hartselle, and Hartselle is just a little bit outside of. It's close to Red Bay, I think. It's close. It's over there. What is that town that the space place is in? The space Huntsville. It's close to Huntsville. Anyway, but I was in the fourth grade there, and there was a girl. Her name was Diane. I don't remember much else about her. She was a big girl. She was big like I was big, and she come up to me, and right away she said, you're my boyfriend now, and I'm like, okay. And so that's the way it was for me. And then about halfway through the school year, my folks decided they wanted to move back to Mississippi. So that's what happened. We moved back, and she cried, and I cried, and then she cried some more, and I cried some more, and we cried. We just cried and cried and cried. We was so upset. Anyway, because we liked each other quite a bit. Like I told you, I started liking the girls in the fourth grade, and I was, anyway, I was mighty upset because it was the first time. Anyway. Uh, but uh, but this whole time I was fat. I was really really fat, huge fat. Compared to everybody else. Like in the second year of the kindergarten, there was I was the biggest in the class. I think there was one guy named Kenneth, and he was taller than me. And there was a girl named Janet, and she was not as big as me, and she was about the same height as me, but she was thick. She wasn't fat. She was just really stout. Like she was like stocky, like muscular. She was stout as an ox. She could beat me up something fierce. Anyway, and she's a cute little girl. She had that little haircut that was like short, but it curled under. You know what I'm talking about? I always thought that was real cute. And anyway, she had that kind of cut. Anyway, I want to say it was like a pixie cut, but it was different a little bit. Anyway, it didn't go down this way. It just was all the way around level. Anyway, and she had brown hair, and she was a good sized woman, good sized little girl. And so anyway, I was just fat. I was huge fat. I was so fat, and that was like I was wearing the same size clothes as my father was wearing. And so for me, there was two options as far as clothes go for me. There was blue jeans, that was a light blue color, and the little patch on the back said Husky, and that was what we had back then as far as clothes for fat kids. The only other option was no pants at all for me. And when my mother would find the clothes that would fit me, that would be them. And she would buy like 10 pair at a time. And so that's all I wore. Light blue, husky, blue jeans. They was stretchy, you know, not cotton. They was like half, it was like 90% polyester blend of some kind. It was just stretchy and everything. And so that's pretty much my life. And I got made fun of a lot. They're like, why do you wear the same pair of pants every day? And I'm like, I have a bunch of these at home. My mother buys them by the ton, and I have to wear them because it's all I have. And, kids, they're evil. And they don't believe nothing you say when you're a fat kid. They're like, no, you just wear the same clothes because you're poor. You don't have any other clothes, and you're fat and ugly, and all kinds of stuff like that. And that was my life for, till I got in the 6th grade. From kindergarten all the way to 6th grade. When I got to 6th grade, I had those pants, and then my mother bought me overalls. Overalls and blue jeans. Overalls that was blue jean material. The first real blue jean material that I wore was overalls. And they were comfortable, really nice. They come in the size to fit me and everything. And of course, they had to get the legs cut off because my inseam was like 21 inches. I don't know what that is in the metric system, but it's short. It's very short. And so that's how that went. And then in the 6th grade, I got a pair of corduroys, brown corduroy pants. My friend Paul Carroll, he had a pair just like them, only his was regular size because he was just a regular size boy. And I was like, man, you look mighty snazzy in them corduroys, And he's like, yeah, man, my mama got these for me. I'm really happy. He was the only boy in the whole school that talked more Southern than me. He had that long, drawn-out drawl, that Southern drawl, way more than I ever thought about it. I talk fast, and he's like, how y'all doing? Y'all come over here and we'll go get us a beer and have a good time. He's talking like that. Anyway, he's like that all through school. And so he had them corduroys, and I'm like, I'm going to wear my corduroys the same day he wears his. We're going to be cool. So I put my corduroys on. Mama got me, and I'm like real happy. I'm like, oh, Mama, I'm so happy I get to wear corduroys. I ain't got to wear them light blue pants. And she was all beaming. She was happy for me, So I got to school, got on the school bus. I eased into the school bus seat. I didn't want to tear my pants up, Got to school and went to walking around during recess, and it started making this noise. It was like, bzz, 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 bzz. And I was like, what is that noise? And I looked down, it's my thighs rubbing together on them corduroys, making like a bzz, bzz, bzz noise, and it started getting hot. And I started smelling it burning. It's like the whatever kind of polyester, whatever them cords are made out of, started melting and getting hot from me walking. And I'm like, oh my God. And then so I wore them as much as possible. I just didn't walk as much as I wanted to. And I'd sit still. I'd go somewhere and I'd stand. I'd be still. And because I didn't want to catch a fire between my legs. I was 6th grade. I was mighty proud of everything I had down there, which wasn't much. I mean, but I didn't want to lose anything. So anyway, after it didn't take long at all. I done wore holes in them. Done wore the holes in the crotch area, in the inner thigh area, and so couldn't wear them anymore. And I was really bummed about it. I was upset. But I hated myself. I hated everything about me. I hated life. The older I got, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. I mean, I liked girls, and all the kids around me, all the boys around me liked girls too, and they're like, I'm going to go out with her, and I'm going to go out with her, and everybody's sort of matching up, girls are starting to like boys, and they're sort of pairing up and everything, and I never did get to pair up, and it just ended up like a group of us boys standing around. It was misfits, we just didn't work out very well with any other. Was just fat boys and nerds and just that kind of people, That's what we ended up being. I would have much rather been a nerd than a fat boy. But anyway, I was dumb and fat, And my best friend in school there, now he was a nerd, and I was like so jealous because he was so smart, walking, talking genius. He's a preacher now. And but real smart feller, real smart kid. And anyway, but I just hated myself. I just just so increasingly depressed from sixth grade on. And it just didn't get any better. I mean, my mother left. My mother left when I was in the sixth grade. She took off to be with a trucker that she had, because my parents got divorced when I was in sixth grade, and so my mother took out to go be with a truck driver on the road for years at a time, and so I just lived with Daddy. And my father was difficult because he was single and he was hanging out with all his female friends. He was out juking every night, every weekend night. He'd go partying. I'm like, well, I'm going. I'll go with you. So he wanted me and my little brother to go with him to the bars and dance halls and stuff. So we'd go with him, and so that's where we'd be Friday night, Saturday night, every weekend. We'd be at a dance hall bar, where they had a live band and a dance floor and a bar and two bars. I think they had, well, early on it only had one bar, but anyway, they had a real nice live band and they was dancing and all that stuff. And so anyway, I started drinking a lot in the sixth grade, and drinking and smoking a lot in the sixth grade, and it just fueled my depression. And like I say, it just got worse and worse from there. But I'm gonna stop this, and then I'm gonna finish it up with a part 3, I guess. But anyway, I'll I'll finish it in a little while. Okay.